Bro, I really need to get into cars, but I don't know how.
What do you mean?
Like, how did you get into cars?
I do not remember. What kind of cars do you like?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Okay, what about this? Tomorrow, early in the morning, there's a Cars and Coffee. You and I will go. There'll be a bunch of different cars there. I'm sure you'll pick something that you like from there. Plus, we can interview a couple people and we can see how they fall in love with cars.
All right, but let's go.
Sound good? All right.
Wait, hold on a second. I have a challenge for you.
A challenge?
Yeah, something to make the car meet a bit more fun.
Okay, let's hear it.
You need to get right in the car. Something rare, something fast. Pick a car that stands out. That should be the best way to understand a true car fanatic's motives in their natural environment.
All right, challenge accepted.
After we arrived at Zuma Cars and Coffee, we took a moment and soaked it all in. Engines rumbling, the paint gleaming in the morning sun, and before long, we made our first friend.
All right. Hey, how's it going?
Going well, man.
Who are we speaking with today?
My name's Will, and this is a 2001 Aston Martin Vanquish. So yeah, it's got about 54,000 miles, got about 420 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque. Everything runs really well. When I went to go drive it north of Santa Barbara, I fell in love with it. I was looking more for a hardcore sports car. I wasn't going to go for a grand tour, but I'm kind of obsessed with the color blue. No secrets here, as you can tell, the way I'm dressed. But yeah, the car just sold me after I drove it. I mean, you always got to drive the car first, right, before you buy it. And they're at the bottom of the depreciation curve, so hopefully it'll be a good investment. I've always loved the lines of this car. As a kid, I had a number of posters up on my wall. I had Lamborghini Countach, you know, all the stereotypical cars that, you know, the kids had up on their wall. I had that. I had the Ferrari Testarossa, and I eventually had one of these when the Vanquish came out. And of course, the Vantage. But when James Bond came out and started driving, I think it was the Vanquish in 2003, with the little, you know, the little turrets where the, where the little guns came out of the hood. You know, I had to have the picture of that one too. But
you mentioned it a little bit, and my goal here is to find out what got people into cars.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit. You got the posters when you were young.
Yeah.
What was the crucial point in your life where you're like, cars are my thing. I love cars. You know.
So one of the things was that my uncle got a Ferrari. He lives overseas, and he didn't get the most fancy one because he was actually on a budget. So he got the Mondial. So if you've ever seen the Al Pacino film, I like to make film and car connections, little shameless plug for Cars, Music, and Movies, my little outfit. So my uncle had a Ferrari Mondial. It was the exact same one from Scent of a Woman, the Al Pacino movie.
Yes.
And so I got to ride in that as a kid, and so that was one of the big things. He didn't have it for too long, sadly, but it was enough to make an impact on me. And then I've always been into design and performance. I was doing sketches in 8th grade study hall. They kept saying, "Hey, Will, stop doing car sketches and get back to your homework." Well, guess what I did? I went back to the sketches, kept drawing cars. So, you know, in another life, I might have gone to, you know, Art Center or something and gone full tilt. But no, I've been into film. I've worked in all kinds of different areas. I've worked in education too. But cars have always been a huge love of mine. Huge love of mine. Always been in design and performance, and it's amazing where automotive technology has gone.
Definitely, 100%.
But I love something that feels analog. You feel the soul of the car. Everything's communicated, you know, from this car. Nothing's a secret, and I just love that about it. And again, for a good sized car, the handling is surprising. Like,
oh, GTC4 Lusso. Look at this. How do you not like this?
I can't. It has to be a preference thing.
This is stunning, dude. Look at that. And the glossy Ferrari badge. That is gorgeous. You're wrong for not liking it. Your opinion's wrong. Your opinion rejected. That's gorgeous.
See, we're demonstrating again bad ears.
Bad ears. Every time you hear something wrong, I'm just gonna cut back to you saying that you have bad ears.
Yeah. Oh no, actually I have bad ears. You could be my
Yeah, bad
ears, I'll be your
I'll
eyes.
be your ear.
I'm gonna ask you to read the fine print.
Are they leaving? You think they're leaving?
Hopefully not. Pretty.
I like how it's all the old people. They're all the Cannonball.
What is a cannonball run?
I'll explain
right now on
later.
camera?
Right now on camera.
Alright, folks, buckle up. I'm about to explain the Cannonball Run, the most ridiculous, illegal, and insanely awesome race you'll never officially hear about. So imagine this: you start in New York City, and your goal is to get to Los Angeles as fast as humanly possible. No speed limits, no pit stop, just you, your car, and the ever-present risk of getting arrested for treating the interstate like your personal racetrack. The record? Under 26 hours. That's coast to coast. And yes, the cops, not amused. These drivers use everything: the fake police lights, lookouts, and even disguises. It all started back in 1970 with a guy named Brock Yates who thought, you know what's missing in life? A completely illegal cross-country street race. And thus the Cannonball Run was born. It even inspired a movie. Now before you get any ideas, no, you cannot do this unless you enjoy court dates and explain to your insurance company why you treated Kansas like an F1 track. Speaking of speed, I just explained a Cannonball Run faster than this guy's turbo takes to spool up.
Ender, nice to meet you. And this is your Supra Mark IV.
Yeah, it's a HKS 3.4 liter stroker.
Can you tell me a little bit of what you have done to it?
So basically everything on this car have been redone. So the only thing I can think about that's stock is the engine block. Everything else is different, yeah.
So you're running a pretty large turbo. Is it, what kind of turbo is that?
It's a Grady T88.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much PSI are you pushing?
I don't know right now, but if I push the full boost, it's gonna be 42.
42.
But I don't drive on full boost because it's too powerful, too crazy.
Yeah. How much power do you make?
So on full boost, it's gonna make 1100, but right now it's close to like 800
That is,
for street driving.
that is crazy. What got you into loving cars? What was that point in your life where you're like, you know what, cars are my thing. I love them. This is what I want.
Oh, I started racing when I was only like 16, and because my dad loved cars, but like we're on like different tracks because my dad loved to go like off-roads. He always liked those kind of like off-road SUVs, all those rally cars, and I'm more like a track racing guy and a drag strip guy. So when I was 16, I first got into motorsport, and I fell in love with it instantly. Just, you know, those adrenaline, nothing can compare to.
Yeah, that's
So,
really cool.
Yeah, and like originally I just raced the car that somebody else tuned, and then gradually when I drive more and more cars, I have some thoughts myself.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have that, you know, the professionals of doing those. So I start to learn about cars because I want to make a car that's special, that's, you know, fit my requirements. So that's why I study engineering, and right now I have my own startup. That's why I'm doing special things to this car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, you forgot something.
Oh, hey, you're right.
So the guy with the Z8 that was parked next to the Huracán.
Right.
They're friends, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna ask, obviously, both of them, but I really want to get a ride in that Huracan. All right, what's up, guys? Can I get a little introduction as to who you guys are?
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm at Strictly German Auto. I'm the owner.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the owner of the Z8 Alpina, and let me just say, he's being modest. This is the man that works on anything and everything underneath the sun. If it has 4 wheels, he works on it and fixes it. So let's make that very clear.
What made you guys fall in love with cars?
So for me, at a young age, we grew up very poor when we immigrated to the States, and I was only able to play with like little RC cars from Radio Shack, and that's what really inspired me as a child. And then I saw, my dad had a big American car growing up, and I just fell in love with cars and couldn't step away from them. Then I started building my own models, and then the cars just kept getting bigger. I got older, and then we're playing with full size, the real deal. And that's what really inspired me to go all the way, was my dad basically coming to the States and having a vision of like having a Ferrari. Like dragged my mom off of the bus, saw an F40 in the window and said, one day we're gonna have this car.
That's gonna be mine.
That's gonna be mine, exactly. And that story has always stayed with me, and now I'm on that roadway with my own business.
Exactly.
To get my dreams to come true in here in America.
That's awesome.
My story's a little different. I grew up around vintage cars from my father. He had a 1971 GTB4 Daytona. I fell in love with that car. To me, it's still the most beautiful car ever made, and he still has a 356 Roadster, or Speedster, sorry. And he's had that car longer than I've been around. So I grew up in and around the classic car scene, going to Carmel every year and also going to various car shows, the Beverly Hills Car Show on Father's Day. It's just, it's been in my blood.
That's awesome. What made you guys choose these cars specifically compared to like everything else that's like compared, in the same class?
You go first with that one.
So for us, we started out with a GT3 2018 in agate gray. That's what kind of started off this venture. After that, we ordered a GT2 RS, and then we sold the GT2 RS actually for this STO.
991?
991 GT2, exactly. Put about 15,000 miles on that car before we sold it, and we just fell in love with the Volkswagen Group basically and everything they make, and can't get away. Porsche started getting weird with their allocations, so just jumped over to Lambo and bought one from them.
The GT3 RS ones?
Yeah, they wouldn't give it to us. We got a GT4 RS on order, but not a 3.
That's crazy. How many Porsches did you guys own for you not to get the GT3 RS allocation?
So we got the GT3, the regular one. Then we had a 991 GT3 RS. Sold both of those. We ordered a Speedster, which we still have. Sold the GT2, and they wouldn't give us the allocation. They were like, go buy a Macan or a Panamera or like a regular car.
Whatever they can't sell.
Yeah, whatever they can't sell. They're like, here, buy this and drive it. I'm like, I'm not buying a 2-liter Macan, man. Get out of here.
That's crazy.
So we said, no thank you, and took our business to Lamborghini.
So
And we even bought the STO, the Storado. They gave us the off-road one as well.
for the Storado.
Yeah.
So you have a Storado.
So
as
we
well.
have the Storado and the STO.
With no like previous purchases.
No Lambos. First two
Lamborghini is
Lambos.
cool, man.
Yeah,
That
they
is
don't
so
care
cool.
if you modify it. So we already modified the exhaust. We have the tips on display.
I saw.
So that's really where it's at. Porsche got a little bit too cocky.
Yeah.
And then the 150,000 over MSRP for a 3RS.
They became Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean $500,000 for a GT3 RS. I don't think it's
Not
worth
worth it.
There's
Not
a
worth
lot of other cars you can buy for that money.
Great
Exactly.
example. Great example.
Yeah. So with the Z8, I mean, I remember this was in 2012, this car in particular. So my dad was looking to get another car to the collection, and specifically one that he thought would appreciate, right? And at the time, he was between the R8 and the Z8, and we had a long discussion about it, and I said, There's only 555 of these in particular made,
Yeah.
right? And granted, I'm his son at the time. I'm still in high school, so he's only going to take my opinion with a grain of salt. But luckily, it worked out. He ended up getting one of the most beautiful cars ever made and very limited. And so we got very lucky. And now he's a proud owner of a Z8 Alpina.
That's awesome. Honestly, the R8 compared to this, it's not even a competition. This is stunning.
Lines of this car, I mean, the shape of the body, it's just beautiful.
It's a work of art.
All of it. I mean, personally for me, I love with the hard top off and the soft top down, being able to just coast around the city with the convertible. I mean, it should only be driven one of two ways: top down, right, or with a hard top on.
Definitely.
And it's just got such an appeal. I mean, being featured in a Bond film, not every car can say that they have had that. Not every brand, exactly, right? And not only featured a BMW, but a limited line version. I mean, to be an owner of something that's beyond limited, from being featured in many films to only 555 of these made, I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's the equivalent of with being an old Roadster or Speedster owner and having that car featured in Bullet, one of the first major race scenes in all of American history, right?
Yeah.
Through, you know, that was the longest race scene at the time. I think it was 2 minutes in that car, the yellow.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get better than that.
It's gorgeous, honestly. A beautiful car, work of art. I think this is gonna be one of those cars that's like a couple $1 million in like 40 years.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Look at it today, it still looks modern.
Definitely,
You know,
yeah.
the LED tail lights. I mean, just the whole car hasn't aged.
Yeah. What year is this?
This is a 2003, and there were 5,701 or 2, I believe, made of the Z8 period. My number is off a little bit. I think it's 5,500, 5,700. This is, and of the Alpinas, they only made 555, and this is number 213. I mean,
And I think the value of this one is going to be way crazy because of that one signature right there.
yep.
That's going to skyrocket the price of this in a couple years.
Yeah, we were very lucky. The story is hysterical. It was the BMW's 50-year celebration, right, of the 507. So we're at Car Week. We have the car on display. Guy just walks up to the car. He's looking at it, just like, fascinating. Yeah, you know, I built these. And my dad looks at him and just like, without missing a beat, he goes, "That's a coincidence. I own one." So they struck up a friendship, and Henrik was willing to sign the interior right at where the radio is, and it's a work of art, man. I mean, this car has only 40,000 miles on it, has never had any major issues, any type of maintenance. This has been the man to cover and do it all. I mean,
I bet.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I got one last question, and this is kind of hard for me to ask. Do you guys think I can get a ride in either one of your cars today?
Absolutely.
Actually?
Absolutely. Yeah, even on semi-warm tires, it still moves when they're cold.
It's not bad on idle.
No, the sound is great at low speed stuff, but it really wakes up at the higher RPMs. Because that's how I built the exhaust. Basically, just be loud, you know, not annoying. Just 1, 2, ba-bop, you're good. It's like the trumpet. See, it fights the front end. That's the way I like it.
This is the kind of stuff that gets you addicted.
Yeah. This is the
this
kind
is
of stuff
crazy.
that makes you work harder and you just like want another car.
Definitely.
Because that's what it makes me do. Like we have so many cars and you just want another one. And you're like, when is enough? Never. And you're like, you finish a car project and you're like, what can I do next?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you do the wheels, you do the PPF, you do the carbon fiber stuff, and then you're like, I want more power, I want better brakes. then you want to turbo it, or then you want to supercharge it, or nitrous. There's so many options out there today to make the car more individual to the owner, that's the real part. Like, yes, they customize it at the dealer, they get this stitching, this color here, that option there, but then the aftercare, right? It's like, what if they want to change it? You're gonna go back to the dealer and order carbon fiber, you know, forged air vents? No, you're gonna find them somewhere else and get it built for you. Or maybe you want, you know, your name, your logo, you want an insignia, something like that. And that's where the real, you know, customization comes in, and kind of where my shop will take over for clients. They're out with their phones on the corners, like that's what we do it for. We don't do it just to show off, you know. We do it for the children, the next generation. Like, I have 2 apprentices in my shop, so I'm teaching them the ways of how I was taught by the old schools. So the old timers that were tuning carburetors by the way they sound, by the smell of the exhaust, although there are more precise tools that we use today, like a gas analyzer, to make sure we have the right mixture coming out of the exhaust, but that's how it was done in the old days. None of those tools existed. So it was just about what you hear, what you know, and your experience. There's not any school in the world where you could go today to learn how to build these cars or learn how to engineer these cars. You can get the idea, you can get the theory, but till you get in the car and start doing stuff, you're not learning. You know? I always learned by doing. And that's the best experience, you know, when you actually get to work on the car, that will give you the most knowledge. Not just about owning it, but about understanding how it's built, understanding the philosophy behind it, because Japanese car philosophy is way different than European cars. You know, European cars, they tell you, hey, this mileage, this many days, this many months, whatever, do this service. Japanese people, they know we're gonna miss an oil change here and there, so they engineered the car to not fail. But it's like, you run a Porsche or a Lambo low on oil, they'll blow up on you real quick, whereas the Japanese cars won't. So there is some reliability, like, inherently built in. And like, see, you don't have to use the front lift everywhere you go. You just kind of use it where you need it over the bumps. But it is an absolute necessity feature for LA.
Oh, definitely.
Some of those driveways in Beverly Hills, you just can't get in. It's so bad.
Well, what advice would you give the younger generation going into the car community?
Stay humble, work hard, and always stay teachable. That's the biggest thing. You have to stay teachable. There's somebody out there that knows more than you, that knows more than me, and you can learn something from those people. And that's what I want the next generation to kind of take away and pass on. You know, it was given to me freely. Give it away for free too. You know, because once I'm gone, right, and I don't have kids yet or anything, I gotta pass along this knowledge.
Exactly.
You know, I gotta give it away, and that'll be the best thing for the future.
So what did you think? Do you understand why people like cars now?
Yeah, I think I get it. Some spoke of family, fathers, uncles, grandparents who built or drove something special. To them, cars are just stories on wheels, carrying the pieces of the people they admire. Others? They talked about success, that feeling of achievement when you finally sit behind the wheel of something you only once dreamed of. And then, there were those who grew up racing, chasing speed and discipline, and learning life through engines and timing. But beneath all of it, the shiny paint, the roaring engines, and long nights in the garage, there's something bigger. It's about showing the world who you are without even saying a word. Every rev, every turn, every detail is an extension of you. And the best part? Along the way, you find people who get it. Strangers who become friends. In the end, cars are just the excuse. Connection is the reward.